Trump cannot finish sentences. On Monday, you pointed out that Biden gets people's names wrong. You don't point out that Trump gets even more people's names wrong. Last month, he said he passed a dementia test. He got the name of the doctor wrong. Instead of saying Ronnie Jackson, he said Ronnie Johnson. He's confused Obama and Biden. He confused Nancy Pelosi and Nikki Haley. He's confused Iraq and Syria. He confused World War II with World War III. He's confused the leader of Turkey with the leader of Hungary. He's confused the leader of China with the leader of North Korea. He called Tim Cook Tim Apple, right? And he even got his own running mate's name wrong. He called J.D. Vance J.D. Mandel a couple of years back. So Donald Trump gets way more names wrong. He's way more incoherent. He's way more ignorant.
Which one of you?
Yes,
which
Biden
one of the
issues,
two of them? Which one
Trump
of the
is much worse.
Which one of the two of them would you trust to drive you home? All sides of violent rhetoric on all sides, including by Biden, has played a role in somebody deciding they want to kill Trump. Right?
You don't know that. You don't know that. He could be a crazy school shooter type. We have no idea why this guy shot at Trump. He was a Trump supporter who shot at Trump. It's very confusing. We don't know why he did that.
But would you understand that if someone is described repeatedly as Adolf Hitler, that some deranged individual might think it's morally justified to then kill the new Hitler? And that's why it's dangerous. So that's why it should stop.
So my colleague John Harwood has it. OK, so hold on. First of all, it should stop. Donald Trump, not Joe Biden, called his opponent Hitler.
This is fantastic. You deflect on every single question I've asked you.
Because you are so one-sided, Piers, so I have to give some balance to the show.
I'm just asking, do you think people should stop calling him Hitler? Because obviously it's a ridiculous...
And I've already said to you, when he stops... I promise, Piers, let's do a deal. I promise, if Trump stops quoting and acting like Hitler and quoting Hitler and praising Nazis, I promise never to mention Hitler again. Deal?
So, once again, you actually don't want to stop calling him Hitler, even though you know it's...
once again, you don't want to engage with the rhetoric.
No, Mehdi...
All right. Okay, so what we're watching right now is a video that just came out with Piers Morgan where he has a heated debate with Mehdi Hassan. I took the video and I chose the hottest heated moments and I'm going to review them. Now, one thing I want to say, this is my personal opinion. I think Piers Morgan and Mehdi Hassan both are a little bit talking over each other in this debate. Piers Morgan is being very biased towards Donald Trump, whereas Mehdi Hassan is being very biased towards Biden. I mean, he couldn't admit the simple fact that Biden is mentally not there anymore and that Trump is smarter than him at this moment. So a little bit biased, but let's continue the video.
With all due respect, that is all bullshit. Yeah. Trump is not Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler murdered 12 million people, killing 6 million Jews in a Holocaust. Okay. There is no comparison to be made between Adolf Hitler and the Nazis and Donald Trump. And to persistently make it, as you and many others on the left have done for years, since he first ran in 2016, I think has been part of the problem of the political discourse in America. If you keep calling a guy Hitler, is it completely insane to think that at some point somebody's going to say, well, in that case, if he really is the new Hitler, we've got to kill him? I mean, wouldn't you be the first to construct a moral argument that if somebody is literally the new Hitler right now on this planet, there is an absolute moral imperative, indeed duty, to kill that person? Otherwise, he's not the new Hitler.
Okay.
He can't be both.
Let's unpack. There's a lot there, Piers. You said a lot there and played a very long chunks. Let's respond to some of the things. First of all, you say that's all bullshit, you said, playing that clip a moment ago. That clip ended with Willie Geist of NBC reporting that Donald Trump said Hitler did some good things. How is that bullshit? That's what Donald Trump said.
Because if you read the whole context of what he actually said that day, it's a deliberately misconstrued tiny part of what he said.
It's not.
It is actually.
It's not. It's what John Kelly said.
Well,
hold on. You've got a long question. Let me respond to you. He also said...
Now, one thing I do want to say is that Piers Morgan is very stuck on this fact that everyone's been calling him Hitler, calling Donald Trump Hitler and everything. And there is some truth to that. But he's totally discounting the fact that Donald Trump has been attacking a lot of other people as well. And a lot of it was a reaction. He was attacking the media, all the politicians, everything like that. And of course, they couldn't just stay quiet. Or they did stay somewhat quiet, but it was only for so long. Then they started attacking him back, calling him Hitler and stuff. Is it hyperbole? Yes. But that's kind of where it stemmed from.
You quoted me on MSNBC. Yeah, I was responding to Trump literally quoting lines from Mein Kampf, poisoning the blood of this country. Piers, you're not a racist, I hope. You don't agree with saying that immigrants are poisoning the blood of this country.
Do you think he is the new Hitler?
That is a Nazi line. Hold on. That is a Nazi. That's not... No, I'm responding to you. You played a clip of me. So I'm going to talk about what I said. I stand by the line that Donald Trump is echoing the rhetoric of Adolf Hitler. He is. That's a fact. Donald Trump praised Hitler, according to his own Republican chief of staff. That is a fact. And stop saying the left calls him Hitler. Hitler. You know who called him America's Hitler? His running mate, J.D. Vance,
I know he did, yeah.
Ooh, got him.
Republican senator,
I know he did.
called him America's Hitler. So don't give
by
me
the
this
way, he
BS
was
that
wrong
this is the
too.
left.
He was wrong too.
Republicans. Doesn't matter whether he was wrong. You're wrong
It
to
does
say it was the
matter.
left.
It does
J.D.
matter.
Vance called him. Well, no, you're wrong. You're wrong, Piers, because J.D. Vance is a Republican. He compared him to Hitler. People who have looked at what Trump and said has done, fascism experts, have said the guy is echoing fascist rhetoric. This is a guy, Piers, and I know you are the grandson of a British war hero who fought the Nazis. I know Captain Mark Oliver was a World War II hero who fought the Nazis.
Matthew
so
Oliver,
I don't say this lightly when I say this. Matthew Oliver, excuse me, war hero for our country. And yet today you're taking light of the fact that Donald Trump quotes Adolf Hitler. He praises Nazis at Charlottesville as very fine people. He hosts a Nazi Holocaust denier for dinner at his home. Did you condemn that? I mean, it's absurd. And by the way, you say you're not right wing.
I did condemn
you
that.
You say you're not right wing, Piers, and yet you give your right wing guests a pass. Ben Shapiro came on your show on Monday. You didn't ask him about calling Barack Obama a fascist. Did he incite violence against Barack Obama? Why didn't you ask Ben Shapiro?
I think Mehdi is a little bit wrong here. The reason why Piers Morgan did not ask these things is because Donald Trump just almost got assassinated. I think just the timing of it is wrong. He's not going to ask other people. It probably just sounds worse when people are attacking him right after an assassination attempt. So I think that is a big difference here.
Why are you playing a clip of me on Trump, but you didn't play a clip of Shapiro?
Never mind
Why?
what interviews I've done with other people. What I'm curious about is, do you?
Well, I can't. Well, when you tell me you're not right wing,
let me ask you. Let me ask. I was interested earlier.
Piers, I never defended.
I was interested
Barack Obama
earlier because you were talking about how Trump put people in cages and all this kind of thing. Do you know who deported the most people in American presidential history?
Yes, Barack Obama, and I called him out for.
Do you know who also put lots of people in cages and separated families? Oh, that would be Obama.
Do you know who dropped the most?
Hang on, I'm finished yet. Do you know who dropped the most bombs? Do you know who dropped the most bombs in a calendar year? Oh, Barack Obama.
Many of you are going to be very shocked when you hear all of this, but yes, that is true.
Do you know who ran illegal drone programs that killed thousands of innocent people? Oh, so, Barack Obama. Do you know who actually campaigned in 08-09 to shut down Guantanamo Bay because as a former lawyer, he knew it was an illegal torture chamber? Oh, it's still open. So I'm afraid, Mehdi, your revisionism
this is the problem, Piers.
of Saint Barack against evil Donald doesn't quite cut it with me.
This is the problem, Piers. Your question doesn't cut it with me because, number one, I criticize Obama for all those things. Unlike you, I can criticize both sides.
I criticize Trump all the time. You know I do. Why do you lie?
You did it in that question you didn't. In that question you didn't. You just said Barack Obama increased drone strikes attacks. Trump actually escalated drone strikes over Obama. Trump supports Guantanamo. Trump wants to torture more people. And as for deportations, why don't you tell your viewers, one of the reasons we oppose Trump coming back, those of us with any sense, is because he wants to carry out the biggest deportation in history. Eject 11 million people.
Well, the biggest
disgusting racist operation.
Ironically, we've got to leave it there.
11 million people he wants to eject from this country.
Ironically, the biggest deporter in history was Barack Obama, who was a Democrat president. Anyway, side now. So entrenched that they just simply can't see the wood for the trees and say something which is vaguely humane.
Look, that is a very fair point. I'm not a fan of Destiny, but let me just put some of what he was saying in context because I watched that discussion. I think the point he was trying to make, and I think he did it badly, is that there is a double standard here.
So quick context on this. Destiny, the famous streamer from Twitch, basically, he wouldn't condemn the assassination of Trump, and that's basically where Piers is coming from.
That, as with the Palestine-Israel debate, where you tend to only ask Palestinians to condemn and not Israelis, journalists, not just yourself, tend to obsess over liberals condemning stuff while conservatives get a pass. And I think that is what bothers a lot of people. It certainly bothers me. And, you mentioned condemning violence, Piers. On Monday's show, you had Ben Shapiro on. I think you had the Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw on. And you had Rudy Giuliani on, right? All three of them have at some point glorified violence, embraced violence, incited violence. Dan Crenshaw's put out videos where he's blowing stuff up, beating up left-wingers. Rudy Giuliani, as you know, Piers, on January the 6th, told an armed mob to do trial by combat. Ben Shapiro had to deny any influence on the Quebec City mosque shooter who killed 6 Muslims in January 2017. Ben Shapiro called Obama a fascist. You didn't ask any of those three people to condemn their own past. So that's, I think, what bothers Destiny, certainly bothers me. We have one party in this country, one movement that's been inciting violence for years. That's the Republican Party and the conservative movement. And yet one bullet is fired by a registered Republican voter on Saturday, and suddenly it's the liberals must condemn Democrats. Joe Biden sitting on TV mumbling defensively, I shouldn't have said bullseye. It's a joke. Come on, Piers. You know and I know that the political violence in this country is coming from the right. The incitement's coming from the right. Donald Trump has embraced violence more than any other political candidate
let me
in
respond.
my lifetime.
One thing I have to admit, Mehdi Hassan is just an amazing debater and just so good off the top of his head. I don't know how he does it. This guy has too much information in his head. I really don't know how he does it.
When you say I've been praising Trump for 3 days, no, all I've said is I think he showed great personal courage and I think he's going to win the election. Those two things, by the way, I think are going to turn out historically to be completely true.
No, come on. That's incomplete. I watched both your shows Monday, Tuesday. People can go watch them. You have acted as if there's two sides to this, that the Democrats are guilty of the same incitement and violence. Well, there's not. I'm sorry. All right, let's play a game.
I've literally just played a bunch of people calling him Hitler for the last 8 years.
Those are not... Sorry. Well, no, you didn't, actually. You played a clip from Willie Geist accurately reporting that Hitler did
No,
good
I played
things.
many people.
Hold on.
I can play a few again if you like.
Hold on. Piers, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, leadership of the Democratic Party. Can you play to me clips of them inciting violence in the same way as Donald Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ron DeSantis, Paul Gosar?
Why are you deflecting?
Because you are deflecting, Piers. I'm not going to sit here and let you do both sides bullshit
you
tonight.
Might be conflating.
This is a Republican Party is a party of violence.
You might be conflating
Piers,
the
I can
two
sit
roles.
all day with you.
Mehdi.
Now you're cutting me off.
Mehdi.
Hold on, now you're cutting me off.
Let
me answer your question.
I'm reminding you it's actually my show and I do the questions and you answer them. On yours, it's the other way around.
Let me answer the question then.
Right.
Let me answer the question. There are not two sides.
When you say it's not two sides, but I've played you a bunch of clips of people repeatedly calling him Hitler, I say to you, there's the two sides.
All right, so let me respond. Can I respond?
Yep.
Can I respond? Okay, let me respond. Donald Trump ran for office in 2016 telling protesters rallies to punch people who pay their bills. As president, he played a clip of a guy saying the only good Democrat is a dead Democrat. He said to the Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. He called Nazis at Charlottesville. No, let me finish. You're interrupting me, Piers. I need to finish my sentence if you get to finish yours. I'm on your show. I'm a guest. I'm answering. Let me get to... I'm pointing out that it's not two sides. What Donald Trump has said... your viewers need to hear this because you're not telling them this. Trump spent his entire presidency inciting violence against Ilhan Omar, George Soros, multiple members of Congress, people of color, right? He left office... right, having incited an insurrection which you condemned. He told them to go fight like hell. He said Mark Milley should be executed, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
What's this got to do with my question?
He mocked Paul Pelosi. I'm getting to it. He mocked Paul Pelosi for being hammered in the head.
He was wrong to do that.
Called for Pelosi to be executed. It's not about whether he was wrong, Piers. I can give you dozens of actual violent quotes from Donald Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar. You can't give me those quotes.
Can you get back to my
from
question?
Biden, Pelosi, Jeffries. No, answer my question. Where did Joe Biden say the only good Republican is a dead Republican?
Mehdi.
But it's not both sides, Piers. You can't deflect, Piers. The viewers are watching.
Your side has literally spent 8 years calling him Hitler. It's ridiculous to say there's no both sides.
We've already discussed the Hitler point. Where have they incited violence? Where did Biden say go kill people?
You can't keep asking me
questions.
No,
Piers, I'm not letting this go. Sorry. General Mark Milley, he called for his execution. Can you point to me to a single Democrat who's called for a Republican execution?
Let me ask you again.
I'll wait. I won't interrupt you.
Let me ask... No,
I'm waiting, Piers. Point me to a single Democrat who's called for an execution.
Mehdi, respectfully, it's my show. I ask the questions. Now, listen, 3 days before Donald Trump was shot, said it's time to put him in the bullseye. If that's not violent language,
come on,
what
Piers.
is?
This is such bad faith. You know perfectly.
You know, I kind of got to agree with Mehdi on this. So everyone's making a big deal about this bullseye comment. And look, rhetoric from both sides, it's when it causes violence, it's not good, obviously. But I think they are really exaggerating this bullseye comment. Let's be real here. Most of us know that Biden probably didn't even write that tweet. Seriously, he probably didn't write it. And the fact of the matter is Biden does not have diehard support like Trump does. We all know this. So I don't think that bullseye comment is as serious as they are making it. I think there was bad rhetoric. I mean, the Hitler comments and everything, sure. I don't think the bullseye comment was one of them. Sorry.
Well, Biden was not inciting violence. It's a figure of speech. He's already foolishly apologized for it.
Okay.
You're comparing that to calling for the execution of Mark Milley.
So every time your side uses violent language, they don't mean it. But every time the other side does, they do.
Hold on. Oh, my word. Piers, come on. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump called for their opponents to be executed. Did Biden do that? I'll ask again. You dodged it the first time.
No.
Did Joe Biden do that? And you're obsessed with Hitler.
Yes, I'm obsessed with Hitler because you and so many others keep calling him Hitler.
So why haven't you condemned Trump? So does Trump. Trump called Biden the Gestapo just 2 months ago. Did you condemn him on this show?
Right.
Yes
Should people? Okay, let me ask you this: should people?
No. Did you
hang
condemn
on,
Trump?
Mehdi?
No,
I'm asking
you're
you a
obsessed
question.
with Hitler. No,
I'm
sorry,
asking you a
Piers. Sorry,
question.
Piers. You've made this entire interview about Hitler.
I'm asking
Did you condemn
you.
Biden? Did
I'm
you condemn
asking
Trump
you
for calling
should,
Biden the Gestapo?
Should people on the left continue?
Did you condemn Trump?
Should Mehdi?
You
Let
didn't,
me ask
obviously.
a question. Should people on the left continue to compare Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler? Yes or no?
Should the right call Biden Hitler?
Stop
because
deflecting,
Trump called him
Mehdi.
Gestapo.
Answer
It's
the
not
question.
deflecting. I'm pointing out your biases, Piers.
I'm asking you a question
You're
about
pointing out
your
biases.
side.
Oh, my side is as long as Trump carries on praising Nazis, I'll point that out. I'm not going to. This show is called Piers Uncensored, but you want to stop me from criticizing Trump
No.
because a Republican
I
shot
don't
at
want
him
to stop you.
with a
Why do you say
Republican gun?
that?
No.
Why do you say that?
You just said, will you stop comparing him to Hitler?
Yes.
I'm only comparing him to Hitler because he talks like Hitler.
So you
If he
are
stops
comparing him
talking
to
like
Hitler,
I'll
who
stop
killed
comparing-
12 million people.
Because he's quoting Hitler. No, I'm not.
So you do think he's
Piers,
the new
this
Hitler?
is childish.
So you do think he's Hitler?
No, I think he's. No, I don't. I already said no, Piers. This is very hard
So
for
if
you to
he's not
understand.
the new Hitler,
he's not
should
the new
people?
Hitler, but he's.
Mehdi, if he's not the new Hitler, should people stop calling him Hitler? Yes or no?
He's not the new Hitler, but he's quoting Hitler, so I'm going to say he's quoting Hitler, and you can't censor me from saying that.
Of course I
If you have a
can't.
problem with the Hitler analogies, hold on, Piers, you do lots of interviews with Trump. Why don't you ask him to stop echoing Hitler instead of asking him softball questions?
Oh, well.
Okay, so here are my thoughts on this. Actually, we'll make it full screen. So Piers Morgan, few things that he's wrong about. First of all, saying that these comments about the bullseye and the Hitler comments, what I want to say about this is, as I mentioned before, I think the bullseye comment is getting blown out of proportion. Everyone knows Biden probably didn't even write it. Everyone knows that that was not his intention, and I don't think Biden has a diehard following to have someone look at that and take it the wrong way. Now, in terms of the Hitler comments, that's true. I admit it. The Hitler comments are not okay. But at the same time, we need to look at why those are coming. These are reactionary comments. Let's not act like Trump was an angel and he didn't have any harsh rhetoric towards the other party. That's simply not true. Now, let's talk about where Mehdi Hassan is wrong. I think Mehdi Hassan is very wrong because throughout this interview, he kind of compares the cognitive difficulties of Biden with Trump. And that is simply not true. Biden for sure has dementia, like a bad case of it. And there is no way you could compare that to Trump. With that being said, hope you liked this commentary. Like and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.